Whilst the Senate will take up cap and trade later this year, some states are not waiting until the federal government finalizes its plans to cut carbon emissions. Earlier today on Capitol Hill, representatives from several states, including Arkansas, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania, touted their efforts toward reducing emissions. Clean Sky's Dan Goldstein was there. He's with us now from our newsroom with details. Good afternoon, Dan.
Hey, Susan, how are you?
All right.
Good. Well, let me talk to you about this. This is really actually kind of interesting. Is 1990 is the sort of the benchmark for a lot of these states. They are looking at actually, almost looking at a floor, not a ceiling, when it comes to what the federal government is trying to do, especially when it comes to reducing emissions. In fact, Arkansas wants to reduce emissions back below its 1990 levels. Minnesota wants to do very much the same, Pennsylvania as well. And a lot of the things we've already heard about is how they're going to get there. Retrofitting buildings, transit-oriented development, improving some of the building codes. And the bottom line is basically they say, the states really can't wait, and you heard also they're not going to wait until the federal government basically makes up its mind as what it wants to do and whether what Congress wants to do. And Tom Peterson, who's the head of the Center for Climate Studies, said basically these states are not going to wait. Here's what he had to say.
We could double the building stock in this country between new and renovated building stock in the next 15 or 20 years. That's as much new stock structurally as we put in place in the last 200. The amount of land that we develop for housing and commercial use will double during the same time period according to the natural resource inventory trends that we have. So while it may seem like things are not terribly urgent and slow, the reality is that the fundamental drivers of greenhouse gas emissions in some cases are really moving very, very quickly, and we are looking at permanent and largely irreversible decisions we make today and in the near term.
Also, the Obama administration, too, is not waiting either, and they've obviously, through the stimulus package, have given a lot of money to the states. Just for example, $5 billion to retrofit low-income housing to make them more energy efficient. Also, too, the federal government is going to be retrofitting a lot of federal buildings to make them energy efficient as well. But as you heard, the states are going to be taking a lot of the lead on this and are going to be doing pretty much the same thing, maybe at a micro level, and they're not going to wait until the federal government basically takes the lead on this. As you heard, they want to get forward with their moving forward with their own plans. And as I said, one of the things you're going to hear a lot is floor, not a ceiling. One of the things the states are worried about is they don't want a weak federal standard precluding them from making higher improvements, bigger improvements when it comes to things like energy efficiency and codes, and they don't want the federal government to be able to say, no, you can't do that. However, there's going to be probably some sort of cap, especially when it comes to cap and trade, because you simply can't have 50 different regimes for carbon and 50 different systems for pricing. Susan?
Gotcha. Okay, Dan Goldstein, thanks for that report.